The Galactic Council fleet assembled near the Outer Rim looked impressive by any standard. Warships from a dozen species hung in formation, their hulls gleaming with fresh paint and advanced alloys. The Sicarian vessels gleamed blood-red, built for speed and aggression. The Chiton Collective sent their insectoid craft, all angles and efficiency. Even the usually peaceful Murasi contributed 3 heavy cruisers to the defensive line. Every commander present understood the stakes. The Morex cartel had been raiding colony worlds for months, and today's coordinated response would either stop them or embolden them further. Commander Ralph watched his tactical display with satisfaction. His flagship, the Crimson Talon, represented the pinnacle of Sicarian military design. Fast, deadly, and crewed by warriors who lived for combat. He'd fought 16 major engagements without a single defeat. His record spoke for itself. The other species might bring numbers, but Sicarians brought excellence. "Commander, final vessel arriving," his sensor officer announced. Ralph glanced at the display and felt his satisfaction curdle into disgust. The human ship looked like something dredged from a scrapyard, bulky, slow, and utterly unremarkable. While every other vessel in the fleet boasted sleek lines and cutting-edge propulsion, the human contribution resembled a floating brick. The nameplate read Terra's Patience, which seemed appropriate given how long it would take the thing to reach any battle. "Analysis," Ralph demanded. His navigation officer, a young Sicarian named Pym, worked her console rapidly. "Commander, the human vessel moves at 42% below our fleet's slowest ship. Its profile suggests outdated reactor technology. Armor appears excessive, likely compensating for inferior shielding. Weapon signatures are." "Actually, sir, I'm reading more weapons than should fit in that hull configuration." Ralph dismissed the observation with a gesture. "Sensor glitch. Humans probably mounted cheap systems they can't even power properly. Helm, maintain our position. If shooting starts, keep us away from that disaster. I won't have my record tarnished by human incompetence." Across the fleet, similar conversations occurred. The Chiton Collective's Hive Commander noted the human ship's unfortunate design choices. The Murasi Fleet Coordinator politely suggested Terra's Patience might serve better. Support role. Even the junior officers from minor species felt comfortable mocking the human contribution on open channels. Aboard Terra's Patience, Captain Anna Walsh listened to the chatter with mild amusement. She'd commanded Fortress ships for 12 years and heard every variation of this particular song. Let them laugh. They'd understand soon enough. "Chief status report," Anna said calmly. Chief Engineer Roger Davis looked up from his station, a slight smile on his weathered face. "All systems running exactly as designed, Captain. Reactors at 30% capacity. Aegis Protocol ready for deployment. Atlas Protocol standing by. Weapons batteries charged and eager." "Weapons," Anna turned to her tactical officer. Linda Grant, a veteran of the Mars Defense Fleet, nodded sharply. "All 96 batteries operational, point defense grids synchronized, railgun capacitors at full charge, plasma reserves optimal, missile pods loaded with full spread. We're ready for whatever comes." Anna settled into her command chair. Unlike the elaborate acceleration Couch's other species favored, human Fortress ships used simple, sturdy seating. No need for protection from high-G maneuvers when your ship barely maneuvered at all. "Contact," the sensor officer called out. "Multiple signatures inbound. Configuration matches Morex cartel raider patterns. Count is 15 vessels, heavy armament." The fleet-wide channel crackled with urgent commands. Ralph's voice dominated, assigning positions and attack vectors. Terra's Patience received orders to hold position at the rear of the formation. Honor acknowledged without comment. Let the fast ships have their moment. The cartel raiders came in hard and aggressive, just as intelligence predicted. Their vessels might lack the polish of military craft, but they made up for it with raw firepower and ruthless tactics. The opening salvos lit up space as both sides engaged. Anna watched the battle develop on her displays. The alien ships danced and weaved, using their superior speed to create targeting problems for each other. It looked impressive. It also wasted enormous amounts of energy that could be better spent on weapons or shields. "Captain, 2 cartel ships breaking formation," Linda reported. "Heading our way, they're transmitting on open channels." "Let's hear it," Anna said. A harsh, electronically filtered voice filled the bridge. Slow, human. "Target, your friends abandon you to faster ships. Prepare for destruction. The Morix cartel claims your wreck as trophy." Anna's crew exchanged glances. Several smiled. Roger actually chuckled. "Should we respond, Captain?" the communications officer asked. "No need for words," Anna replied. "Linda, how long until they're in range?" 30 seconds, the tactical officer said. "They're not even attempting evasive maneuvers, completely confident." "Overconfidence kills," Anna observed. "All batteries power up. I want full targeting solutions before they realize their mistake." Across the fleet, alien commanders watched with morbid curiosity. Ralph privately calculated how long Terra's patience would last. 30 seconds seemed optimistic. The cartel ships closed rapidly, their weapon systems charging for the killing blow. Aboard Terra's Patience, concealed panels along the hull began to slide open. What appeared to be simple armor plating revealed itself as something far more dangerous. "Batteries ready," Linda announced. "Targets locked." "Fire," Anna said simply. Terra's Patience transformed from target to predator in an instant. 96 weapon batteries opened up simultaneously. Railgun rounds crossed the distance at relativistic speeds. Plasma bolts followed microseconds later. The targeting solutions proved perfect. Both cartel ships took the full force of the barrage before they could even register the threat. The first raider simply disintegrated. Armor, shields, and hull vaporized under concentrated fire. The second ship's captain managed to trigger emergency thrusters, but succeeded only in exposing a different angle to Terra's guns. It died just as quickly, tumbling in pieces. Silence filled the fleet channels for exactly 3 seconds. "What just happened?" Pym whispered. Commander Routh stared at his tactical display in disbelief. The slow, stupid human ship had just deleted 2 raiders faster than his sensors could track. Impossible. Anna allowed herself a small smile. "Reload all batteries, maintain current position. Let's see if anyone else wants to test our patience." Commander Routh's bridge remained silent for another 5 seconds before organized chaos erupted. Tactical officers frantically recalculated Terra's Patience weapon capacity. Sensor operators triple-checked their readings. Even Routh himself felt the foundations of his understanding crack. "That's impossible," Pym finally said. "A ship that size, moving that slowly, shouldn't be able to mount weapons of that magnitude. The power requirements alone would require exactly the kind of massive reactor system we detected," Ralph interrupted, his mind racing. "They sacrifice speed for power generation. Every ounce of thrust we use for engines, they redirected to weapons and shields." The implications settled over the bridge like a heavy blanket. Sicarian doctrine emphasized speed above all else. Strike hard, strike fast, disappear before the enemy could respond. Humans apparently rejected that entire philosophy. "Open a channel to the human captain," Routh ordered. When the connection established, he kept his voice neutral. "Captain Walsh, your vessel's capabilities were not included in our tactical briefing. I request clarification on your ship's specifications." Anna's face appeared on the view screen, calm and professional. "Commander Routh, Terra's Patience is a Fortress-class vessel. We build our ships for specific purposes. This one exists to hold defensive positions and provide sustained firepower. Speed would be wasted on a platform designed to stand and fight." "Stand and fight," Routh repeated. The concept seemed almost quaint. "Sicarian vessels rely on mobility to survive." "Different species, different doctrines," Anna replied simply. "We build castles, you build cavalry, both have their place." Before Routh could respond, his tactical officer shouted a warning. "Commander, 6 cartel ships breaking from the main engagement. They're converging on the human vessel." Anna's expression didn't change. Acknowledged, Commander. Terra's patience will handle them. I suggest you focus on the remaining raiders. The channel closed. Ralph watched his tactical display with growing concern. 6 warships against one, even a well-armed one. The math seemed brutal. Aboard Terra's Patience, the mood remained professional and unhurried. Roger checked power distribution while Linda assigned targeting priorities. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, no wasted motion, no panic. Captain, lead cartel ship is transmitting, communications reported. Let's hear the bravado, Anna said. Foolish humans, your trick won't work twice. We come from 6 vectors. Your slow ship cannot defend all angles. Today you learn why speed matters. Noted, Anna replied. Linda, status. All 6. Targets locked. Point defense grids covering all approach vectors. I recommend we let them get close. Make them confident. Anna nodded. Agreed. Hold fire until they commit fully. The cartel ships came in fast, just as their commander promised. They spread their formation wide, attacking from multiple angles simultaneously. Their strategy made sense against conventional vessels. Divide the enemy's fire, overwhelm their ability to track multiple threats. 15 seconds to weapons range, Linda counted down. They're not slowing, completely committed to the attack run. Point defense, stand ready, Anna ordered. Let's show them what a stable firing platform can do. What happened next would be analyzed in military academies for decades. Terra's Patience rotated slowly on its axis, presenting optimal firing angles to all 6 attackers simultaneously. The ship's massive size, previously seen as a liability, now revealed itself as advantage. Enough surface area to mount weapons facing every direction. The first cartel ship opened fire. Plasma bolts and missiles streaked toward Terra's Patience. The human ship's point defense systems responded with mechanical precision. Streams of railgun fire intercepted every missile. Energy shields absorbed the plasma. Not a single shot reached the hull. Targets in optimal range, Linda announced. All batteries locked. Fire, Anna said. The fortress ship erupted. 96 weapons batteries didn't fire sequentially. They fired in coordinated salvos, each group timed to maximize damage. The targeting computers, freed from the need to compensate for high-speed maneuvers, achieved accuracy that faster ships could only dream of. The first cartel ship died before its captain realized the danger. Railgun rounds punched through shields and armor like tissue paper. The second ship attempted to break off, but Terra's Patience long-range weapons tracked it perfectly. Plasma cannons reduced it to molten debris. The third and fourth ships tried to use their speed advantage to circle around, but discovered that Terra's Patience weapons' turrets tracked at speeds their own systems couldn't match. Ralph watched from his command chair, his jaw hanging open. The human ship wasn't just defeating 6 attackers. It was destroying them with an efficiency that bordered on casual. No dramatic maneuvers, no desperate gambles, just precise, overwhelming firepower delivered. From a platform that didn't need to dodge, because nothing could penetrate its defenses. Commander, should we assist? Pym asked. I don't think they need our help, Ralph admitted. The 5th cartel ship managed one final, desperate gambit. It redirected all power from weapons to engines, attempting to ram Terra's Patience at maximum velocity. Roger noticed the power spike immediately. Ramming attempt, he called out. Point defense, continuous fire on target 5, Anna ordered. Her voice remained calm. Linda, prepare a plasma barrage for when their shields fail. The cartel ship accelerated to speeds that would have evaded most vessels. Terra's Patience simply tracked it with perfect precision. Point defense railguns hammered at its shields. When they collapsed, plasma cannons vaporized the ship 300 meters from impact. The 6th ship's captain finally showed sense. He broke off the attack and tried to flee. Linda's targeting solution followed him across 20,000 kilometers before a railgun round cored his engines. The ship drifted, powerless. Threat neutralized, Linda reported. All batteries ready for additional targets. Anna surveyed the battlefield. Debris from 6 cartel raiders drifted in expanding clouds. Terra's patient's shields showed minimal drain, armor completely intact. Crew casualties, 0. Commander Ralph, Anna opened a channel. 6 hostiles eliminated. Terra's patients ready to continue operations. Perhaps we should discuss proper tactical deployment of Fortress-class vessels. Ralph could only nod. Somewhere, his academy instructors were spinning in their graves. Everything they'd taught him about speed and mobility seemed suddenly obsolete. The slow human ship had just rewritten the rules of naval warfare. The remaining cartel raiders pulled back from the main engagement, regrouping at a safe distance while their commanders processed what they'd witnessed. Aboard the lead raider, Admiral Krenix reviewed the combat footage for the 3rd time. His tactical officers stood silent, knowing better than to interrupt when their commander wore that particular expression. 9 ships, Krenix finally said. We've lost 9 ships to a single human vessel, a slow human vessel that shouldn't even be able to target properly at those speeds. His second-in-command, a scarred veteran named Drax, ventured an observation. Admiral, their ship designed sacrifices. Everything for firepower and defense. They've built a weapons platform, not a warship. Then we overwhelm the platform, Krenix decided. All remaining ships concentrate fire on a single point of their hull. Even Fortress armor has limits. We break through, we win. The order transmitted across the cartel fleet. 6 raiders remained operational, and Krenix personally led them back toward Terra's patients. This time, no fancy tactics, just raw, focused destruction. Aboard Terra's patients, sensors tracked the incoming formation. Anna studied the tactical display with professional interest. The cartel commander had learned from his losses. Concentrated fire on a single target point showed intelligence. Roger, thoughts? Anna asked. The chief engineer ran calculations on his console. They're going to hit us hard, Captain. Concentrated barrage from 6 ships. Our shields will hold for maybe 90 seconds under that kind of punishment. Armor will take stress damage even if shields hold. Recommendations. Deploy Aegis, Roger said simply. Full defensive configuration. Anna nodded. Make it happen. Linda, I want firing solutions on all 6 targets. Prioritize their weapon systems. If we can reduce incoming fire, we buy ourselves time. Aye, Captain, Linda responded. Solutions ready. The ship shuddered slightly as Aegis protocol activated. Additional armor plating extended from recessed bays along the hull, overlapping defensive fields projected from multiple emitters. Power distribution shifted, drawing from weapons to boost shields by 40%. Terra's patient speed dropped to nearly 0. The fortress had anchored itself in space. Commander Ralph watched the transformation with growing amazement. They have backup systems, of course they do. PIM analysis. The navigation officer's fingers flew across her console. Commander, they've increased defensive capability by approximately 45%, but their speed has dropped to almost nothing. They're completely stationary. They were barely moving before, Ralph observed. Why would they need speed when they're designed to be an immovable object? The cartel fleet opened fire. 6 ships unleashed everything they had at a single point on Terra's patient's hull. The concentration of firepower would have vaporized a battle station. Energy and kinetic weapons slammed into the overlapping shields like a tidal wave. Inside Terra's patients, the crew felt the impact. Lights flickered, the deck vibrated, damage control teams stood ready, but the shields held. Shields at 72%, Roger reported. Armor taking no damage, Aegis holding steady. They're hitting us hard, but we're built for this. Anna watched the shield readouts. Linda, return fire, let's reduce their output. Terra's patients responded with calculated precision. While 6 ships pounded at its defenses, the Fortress ship's weapons targeted their gun batteries. Railgun rounds destroyed missile pods. Plasma bolts melted cannon assemblies. One by one, the cartel weapons fell silent. Admiral Krenix saw his strategy failing in real time. Impossible. We're hitting them with enough firepower to crack a moon. Admiral, they're destroying our weapons, Drax reported. Targeting is perfect. They're not even trying to kill our ships, just disarm them. All ships evasive maneuvers, Krennic ordered. Use your speed. The cartel vessels broke formation, scattering in different directions. But Terra's Patience targeting systems tracked each one. The stable firing platform gave human gunners an advantage no amount of speed could overcome. When a target moved predictably, physics made the shot easy. 2 cartel ships lost their main weapons. A third took a railgun round through its engine section and began drifting. The 4th ship's captain made a fatal error. He tried to close to point-blank range, thinking the fortress ship couldn't track at close distance. Linda proved him wrong with a plasma barrage that left his ship a gutted wreck. Ralph couldn't stay silent any longer. He opened fleet-wide communications. All ships form up on Terra's Patience, use her as an anchor point. We create a defensive line with the human vessel as our center. The alien commanders hesitated only briefly. Seeing a Sicarian acknowledge human superiority convinced them. The fleet reorganized, positioning their ships to support the fortress. Anna smiled slightly. Commander Ralph, welcome to Fortress Doctrine. We hold the line, you cover our flanks. Together we're stronger than separately. Agreed, Captain Walsh, Ralph replied. For the first time in his career, he felt grateful for human stubbornness. The remaining cartel ships regrouped at extreme range. Krennic faced a losing proposition. His fleet had been whittled down, and the humans had barely scratched their paint. Worse, long-range sensors showed reinforcements inbound. Admiral, we should withdraw, Drax suggested quietly. Krennic wanted to argue, wanted to prove that speed and aggression could overcome slow, stupid human engineering. But he hadn't survived 15 years as a cartel commander by ignoring reality. Signal the retreat, he ordered bitterly. All ships fall back to Rally Point 7. The cartel fleet disengaged, using their superior speed to escape. Anna made no effort to pursue. Fortress ships didn't chase, they held positions. Commander Ralph, the field is yours, Anna transmitted. Terra's Patience will maintain station and provide support if needed. Ralph looked at his tactical display. Where 15 cartel raiders had begun the battle, only 5 now fled, 9 destroyed or disabled, and the slow human ship that everyone had mocked showed 0 hull damage. Captain Walsh, Ralph said carefully, I owe you an apology. My people value speed above all else. We assumed your ships were inferior because they moved slowly. Clearly, we were wrong. No apology necessary, Anna replied. Different doctrines for different purposes. Your ships excel at pursuit and raiding. Ours excel at holding critical positions. The galaxy needs both. Still, Ralph continued, I would very much like to learn more about Fortress Doctrine, perhaps over drinks when this operation concludes. Anna laughed. I'd enjoy that, Commander. I'll teach you why slow and steady wins wars. The celebration lasted exactly 12 minutes before sensors detected the new threat. Anna was reviewing damage reports with Roger when the alert sounded. Minimal damage, mostly cosmetic scoring on the outer armor. The fortress ship had performed exactly as designed. Captain, long-range sensors showing multiple contacts, the sensor officer called out. Configuration matches cartel main fleet. Count is 42 vessels, Admiral-class command ship detected. The bridge fell silent. 42 ships represented a real threat, even to a fortress. Anna studied the tactical display with calm focus. The approaching fleet showed professional organization, not the scattered aggression of raiders. Communications, fleet-wide channel, Anna ordered. When the link opened, she kept her voice steady. All ships, cartel main fleet inbound. This is beyond our current force projection. I'm recommending strategic. Withdrawal to Rally Point. Negative, Captain Walsh, a new voice interrupted, familiar but not from this battlefield. Terra's resolve entering system, Terra's defiance and Terra's vengeance 30 seconds behind us. Earth fleet sends its regards. Anna felt relief flood through her. Captain Brooks, good to hear your voice. When did Command authorize additional fortress deployment? About the same time they authorized your deployment, Captain Brooks replied cheerfully. Turns out, Command predicted the cartel would respond to a single fortress with overwhelming force. So they sent 4 fortresses. We just took different routes to avoid detection. On the tactical display, 3 more Fortress-class ships appeared, identical to Terra's Patience in design, each bristling with weapons and heavy armor. The 4 human vessels began moving into formation, their slow, deliberate pace somehow reassuring. Commander Routh opened a private channel to Anna. Captain, I must ask, did your people plan this entire engagement as bait? Plan is a strong word, Anna admitted. We anticipated the cartel would underestimate a single fortress ship. We anticipated they'd commit forces piecemeal, and we anticipated they'd call for reinforcements when the raids failed. Human military doctrine emphasizes turning enemy assumptions into disadvantages. Devious, Routh said. I'm starting to understand why Earth survived as a military power despite slower ships. The 4 fortress ships formed a tetrahedron formation, with Allied vessels positioned inside the protective geometry. Each Terra-class vessel covered a different approach vector. Overlapping fields of fire created kill zones in every direction. Aboard the cartel flagship Devastation, War Master Dren studied the tactical situation with growing respect. The human commander had outmaneuvered him before the battle even started. 4 fortress ships represented a serious problem. Analysis, Dren ordered his tactical staff. The chief analyst, a methodical officer named Voss, presented his findings. War Master, our numerical superiority is 5-1 if we count only the fortress ships. However, their defensive formation and combined firepower offset our advantage. Direct assault will result in severe casualties. Unacceptable, Dren replied. We have 42 ships, they have 4 slow targets, there must be a tactical solution. We could attempt to divide their formation, Voss suggested. Force them to choose between protecting different positions. Dren considered the option. No, fortress ships don't abandon positions. That's their entire design philosophy. We'd just be attacking them separately. Equally bad outcome. The War Master stood, pacing his bridge. He'd fought humans before, but never their fortress ships. His experience involved patrol craft and destroyers. Fast, aggressive vessels that matched cartel tactics. These slow monsters required different thinking. What if we don't try to destroy them? Dren said slowly. What if we simply outlast them? Voss looked confused. War Master. Their strength is sustained firepower from massive reactors, Dren explained. But reactors have limits. Ammunition has limits. We have 42 ships. We can rotate our forces, maintain constant pressure, wear them down over hours or days if necessary. The strategy had merit. Cartel ships could withdraw, resupply from their support vessels, and return to the fight. The human fortresses were isolated, cut off from reinforcement. Time favored the cartel. Anna watched the cartel fleet maneuver and immediately understood their strategy. They're going to try a war of attrition. Smart. They've learned from their losses. Can we outlast 42 ships? Linda asked. Normally, no, Anna admitted. But we're not using normal protocols. Roger, activate Atlas. The chief engineer grinned. Aye, Captain, deploying Atlas now. Throughout Terra's Patience, internal bays opened. Automated manufacturing systems came online. Ammunition fabrication started immediately, but Atlas involved more than just making bullets. Fleet-wide transmission, Anna ordered. All Allied vessels, Terra's Patience is now operating as Fleet Logistics Hub. Transmit your ammunition specifications and current supply levels. We're about to revolutionize resupply operations. Routh received the transmission with confusion. Captain Walsh, what exactly is Atlas Protocol? Something we learned from centuries of Earth warfare, Commander, Anna replied. Battles are won by the army that can maintain supply lines. We just brought our supply line with us. Drone bays opened along Terra's Patience hull. Small, automated craft launched carrying ammunition, spare parts, and repair materials. They navigated toward Allied ships with precise coordination, within minutes. Sicarian cruisers were receiving fresh missile pods. Khitan collective destroyers got replacement shield generators. Dren watched the operation with dawning horror. They're manufacturing ammunition during battle. That's not possible. Apparently it is, War Master, Voss replied quietly. The Fortress ships aren't just weapons platforms, they're mobile factories. The first wave of cartel ships engaged the human formation. They poured fire into Terra's Defiance, attempting to overwhelm one fortress before moving to the next. Captain Brooks calmly directed his ship's defensive systems. Shields absorbed the punishment while weapons fired back with mechanical precision. Meanwhile, Terra's Patience drones continued their work. Every Allied ship in the formation received resupply. More importantly, the 3 other Fortress ships received ammunition from Terra's Patience manufacturing systems. The human vessels were feeding each other. This changes everything, Dren admitted. They can sustain this battle indefinitely. Orders, War Master? Voss asked. Dren studied the tactical display, 42 ships against 4 fortresses. But those 4 fortresses supported each other and the entire Allied fleet. Worse, they showed no signs of weakening. Continue the engagement, Dren ordered, but prepare contingency plans for withdrawal. I want options if this battle turns against us. The battle settled into a rhythm that favored the defenders. Cartel ships would engage for 20 minutes, withdraw to resupply, and return while fresh vessels took their place. The strategy should have worked. Against conventional fleets, it would have worked, but Fortress ships played by different rules. 2 hours into the engagement, War Master Dren reviewed the casualty reports with growing frustration. 8 cartel ships destroyed, 11 more damaged badly enough to require major repairs. The human fortresses showed shield fluctuations and some armor scoring, but remained fully operational. Worse, their ammunition never seemed to run low. War Master, we're losing ships faster than we're inflicting damage, Voss reported. At current attrition rates, we'll be combat ineffective before they are. I can read a tactical display, Dren snapped, then more calmly. I underestimated human engineering. I won't make that mistake again, but we still have numerical advantage. Time to use it properly. He studied the fortress formation, 4 ships in tetrahedron geometry, strong from every angle. We've been trying to overwhelm them with firepower. Instead, we should overwhelm them with targets. If they're shooting at us, they can't shoot at everything. Voss, prepare all-in assault. Every ship, simultaneous attack. The order rippled through the cartel fleet. 33 operational vessels formed attack formations. Dren would throw everything at the fortress line in one massive wave. Something had to break. Aboard Terra's Patience, sensors tracked the cartel reorganization. Anna opened command channels to the other fortress captains. Thoughts? Captain Brooks from Terra's Resolve responded first. They're going all in. Desperate move means we're winning the attrition battle. Agreed, Captain Norton from Terra's Defiance added. Question is, can we handle 33 ships at once? We're about to find out, Captain Reeves from Terra's Vengeance said. Recommend we designate priority targets, focus fire to reduce their numbers quickly. Anna made the decision. Approved. Terra's Patience will coordinate targeting, everyone sync with our tactical network. We demonstrate what 4 fortress ships can do when they work as one. The human vessels linked their combat systems. What emerged was more than 4 ships fighting together. It was a single, distributed weapons platform with 4 hull sections. Any captain could call targets. Every ship would respond. Human coordination at its finest. The cartel fleet charged. 33 warships against 4 fortresses, the space between them filled with weapons fire. Missiles, plasma, kinetic rounds, and exotic energy weapons all streaked toward the human formation. The fortress ships responded with coordinated precision. Point defense grids from all 4 vessels created an overlapping shield of defensive fire. Thousands of rounds per second intercepted incoming missiles. Energy weapons dissipated against layered shields. What got through hit armor designed to withstand planetary bombardment. Meanwhile, the human counterattack demonstrated the true meaning of overwhelming firepower. 384 weapon batteries fired in synchronized waves. Targeting computers distributed targets to ensure maximum efficiency. No wasted shots, no friendly fire, just pure, calculated destruction. The first cartel ship to die probably never knew what hit it. Concentrated railgun fire from 3 fortresses struck simultaneously. The vessel came apart like paper. The second ship lost its forward section to a plasma barrage. The third ship's captain tried to evade, but 4 fortresses meant 4 overlapping firing solutions. Nowhere to run. Commander Routh watched from his command deck, his previous understanding of naval combat thoroughly demolished. They're not fighting like 4 ships, they're fighting like one massive weapons platform. "Commander, should we assist?" Pym asked. "No," Routh said quietly. "We should watch and learn. This is history being made." Dren saw his assault collapsing in real time. 7 ships gone in the first minute, 9 more heavily damaged. The human fortresses absorbed his fire with seeming indifference while their own weapons never missed, never hesitated, never showed mercy. "All ships withdraw," Dren ordered. Pride had limits and survival mattered more than victory. "Fall back to minimum safe distance." The cartel fleet broke off, using their superior speed to escape. The fortress ships made no effort to pursue. Anna watched them go with satisfaction. 17 cartel ships remained operational out of 42, decisive victory by any measure. "Damage report," Anna requested. Roger checked his systems. Shields at 40%, armor showing stress fractures in sections 7 and 12, manufacturing systems still operational. "We can effect repairs in approximately 6 hours, no casualties." Anna opened channels to the other fortresses. Similar reports came back. Damaged but intact, operational, ready to continue. "Fleet-wide transmission," Anna ordered. When all ships were listening, she spoke clearly. "This is Captain Walsh to all vessels. Cartel main fleet has withdrawn. Sector is secure. Allied fleet may stand down to repair status. Well done, everyone." War Master Dren sat in his command chair, staring at the tactical display. 25 ships lost. Hundreds of crew dead. All because he'd assumed slow meant weak. The humans had taught him a brutal lesson. "War Master, what are your orders?" Voss asked. "We return to base," Dren replied. "And I send a report to High Command. Recommendation: avoid engagement with human fortress ships unless absolutely necessary. They've perfected a type of warfare we don't understand." "Will High Command listen?" Dren laughed bitterly. "Probably not, admirals. Never listen until they lose their own ships. But I've done my duty. I've warned them." Back at the defensive line, Commander Routh requested permission to come aboard Terra's Patience. Anna welcomed him personally. The Sicarian commander stood in the fortress ship's hangar bay, looking around with new appreciation. "Captain Walsh, I owe you more than an apology," Routh said. "I owe you thanks. Your people saved this entire sector today." "We did our job, Commander," Anna replied. "Fortress ships exist to hold critical positions. Today we held." "You did more than hold," Routh insisted. "You demonstrated that speed isn't everything, that sometimes the best strategy is to be immovable. My people have been building fast ships for 10,000 years. Maybe it's time we learned to build slow ones." Anna smiled. "Different tools for different jobs, but if you're interested, Earth Fleet would be happy to share fortress design principles. We believe in cooperation, not competition." The 2 captains walked toward the bridge together. Behind them, repair drones swarmed over Terra's Patience hull, fixing damage, restoring systems. The slow human warship had proven its worth. Across the galaxy, military planners would study this battle for generations. They'd laughed at the slow human warship. They wouldn't laugh anymore.